Hello there, welcome back to my channel. My name's Louise and this is Louise's Lifestyle. Thank you for joining me. So today I'm just going to share with you, the viewers, 11 days on since I brought these mousses or banana plants indoors, and to show you how they are getting on in their new environment. So this is the mousse basjou in the kitchen. That's sort of an antifungal that I sprayed it with. I didn't want any rot setting in. So it's near the back door. I have the door open during the day so it gets fresh air, and I can move it closer to the door when the door's shut. We've got lots of pups there. Hopefully they'll make it through the winter. Mousse basjou. It does get late afternoon sun when when the sun's out, that is. Right, so the remaining mousses, this is a giant allocation, the collocaceas I brought into this room as well. So the mousse basjou, there wasn't enough room for that, so as it's a little bit more hardier, I've got that in the kitchen, as you could just see. And it's near an open door, so it's still getting cooler air, and hopefully that will stop any sort of fungus or rot issues. But these are brought in here. They're not as hardy, I don't believe, as the mousse basjou, but this is the sycamensis, mousse sycamensis, and this is the larger of the two plants that I got from Planet Banana, and it's put out this leaf, new leaf, and then it's got a new leaf here unfurling, so that's good news. And yeah, so it's a decent height. It was fairly tall compared to the Mousse Helen's hybrid, which was very small, a little pup, and it had got a damaged leaf that had to break off. But it's made a good recovery, and this leaf, it's put out this is the newest leaf that it put out, and then there's a new one about to unfurl. So these are too young to be left in ground. I imagine if it had been a couple of years growing, that might be a candidate to experiment with growing in ground, but I wouldn't risk it when they're just this young, especially not in my garden. But I know people do have these growing in ground, and they will come back. But the thing is, they, without great protection, they will die back completely, and so much of the spring and summer is spent recovering. So they'll die back to ground level, and then they've got to put all their energy into growing anew. So that's not really what I want. I want to have all year round, be able to look at them all year round and, see lovely leaves and get them to grow quite big. If I had spare plants, then maybe I would try and experiment, but hopefully I can get these through the winter and they'll be a decent size by next spring and summer. So, they won't have to spend their time in recovery. They'll be raring to go. That's the goal anyway, to have decent sized plants that you can look at all year, not just for a couple of months, from summer to our very short season, summer, through to autumn, and then obviously winter, they will die back. This is the Mousse acuminata. So this is a recent purchase I got from B&M, and it's got a pup as well down there. So I can't take credit for all this growth. It was already quite a big sized plant. That's a new leaf it's put out, and there's another one appearing there. So it's in the family of the Cavendish banana, but this type, the Grand Nain, grows bigger than the dwarf Cavendish. I've had dwarf Cavendish loads of times. Very common to buy here, but never grown them successfully. And then last but not least, we have Musa Siam Ruby, also from B&M's. And there was a clump of these growing in one pot, 7 in fact in this pot, and it's already suffered cold damage, you know. So this is a delicate plant. It probably came to B&M straight from a greenhouse and had never been outside. And I kept it outside with the other banana plants, the other musas, and it did not like the cooler temperatures. Once those cool temperatures started to come in at night, I've removed, in fact, quite a few of the damaged leaves, and they're still, you know, damaged to these others. But I'm hoping, got some nice new growth here, that will continue to grow in a healthy manner. So yeah, if you're growing Siam Ruby, I would suggest don't try and keep it outdoors until late, you know, autumn. They're just too delicate. Well, for me anyway, this one is first time growing these. And got lots of new growth coming out on each of these separate well, they are separate plants, but they've just been lumped together in this one pot. And I did pull the whole pot, lifted them up to have a look, and they weren't that great. The roots, you know, they were minimal. So I couldn't see any way to separate these. Excuse me. So I couldn't see any way to separate them. So they will have to stay in this pot. I'm not going to put a bigger pot in place because the roots weren't that vigorous. So they'll stay in the pot they're in until next spring. And hopefully all of these individual plants will survive. I had hoped to separate at least one out, but it's not going to happen. So I have to wait till spring, and hopefully all my musas will get through the winter period. So I'll do regular updates, especially when I go away on my holidays, how I'm going to prep these plants so that they don't, you know, I don't come back to dead plants basically. All right, thanks very much for watching, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.